kammala rajista a waje za mu fara da Allah daidai su za mu we also want to acknowledge the President Abubakar. She is the HOB General at New Campus. Allah amarci da Amina Hajiya Habiba Abubakar daga hanyar office na Kenya. She doubles as our Thank you so much. So we will begin in just
This thing is not standing there. It's not tied well. Tie it. Is it okay?
Okay, it requires more.
Yeah, it's done mostly. It's not for baby girls. Send it, it's okay. It's okay like this.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. We would want to begin with opening prayers. We would like that everyone please get a place to be seated comfortably so that we can begin properly. We would like to announce that although the registration has stopped, but please just remain calm. At the end of the event, you'll just be seated where you are and you'll be able to do your registration if you haven't done that yet. Registration, we would like to, at this point, also acknowledge the presence of the Northwest Regional Coordinator for the Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, Haji ABLE2VOTE. Sanar da kasancewan shugaban Donab na Northwest Zone, Alhaji Abdullahi Barwa daga Sokoto. A round of applause. And we also want to acknowledge our sign language interpreter, Jessica Daniel. Ita taimakon kura na gane abin da ake ciki, sunanta Jessica Daniel. That's so that we can have a very inclusive and participatory event this morning. Saboda kowa ya kasance ya gane da ake a gurin zaɓen. At this time, I would like to ask that we all rise to take the opening prayer, which will be the national anthem. National anthem. Let's go. Let's sing after 2. 1, 2, 3. Nigeria's God to serve our Father's land, with of our strength and faith, the nation of our heroes first shall peace and unity. Thank you very much. At this time, we would want to welcome the program manager of the Able to Vote campaign, which is being implemented by the ABLE Foundation. It is a European Union funded project to see to the proper inclusion of persons with disabilities in the electoral process. So I would like to at this time welcome to the podium Mrs. Ferdinand for the welcome remarks.
Mrs. Ferdinand, wato ita ce shugaban wannan taron da muke a ciki yau na wayar kan masu bukata na musamman akan yancinsu na zaɓe. Da ana dama wata.
Good morning, everyone.
Na kwana mu.
Okay, my name is Ferdinand, and I am the program manager of the Albino Foundation. On behalf of the Albino Foundation, I would like to thank each and every one of us for being here with us today. I welcome everyone to vote Able to Vote campaign, Northwest, happening here in Kaduna. The Able to Vote voter education campaign is a zonal activity and one of TAP's main responses to the reduction of voter apathy amongst persons with disability, and also the increase of political participation of persons with disability in electoral processes. It is targeted at a minimum of 30,000 persons with disabilities from the 6 geopolitical zones in the country. Like you know, last week on October 19th, it happened in Abuja for the North Central, and today we are here in the Northwest in Kaduna. And next week we'll be in Gombe for the Northeast zone, and on November 7th, we are going to be in Port Harcourt for South, and then Southeast is happening on November 16th in Enugu, and then the final lap is going to be in Lagos for Southwest on November 21st. Now, apart from this key activities of the Able to Vote campaign, we also have the electable campaign targeted at the persons with disabilities who are contesting or interested in contesting for elective positions. So that is going to happen in Abuja on November 28th. And these are just few of many activities lined up by the Albino Foundation with funding from the EU, the European Union, through the European Union Support Democratic Governance in Nigeria project. So we also have the development of the electoral app, an app that will give you a real-time feed and information data on how the election is going in regards to the participation of persons with disabilities. And we also have another activity targeted at gathering collection of data, of course, always related to persons with disabilities. We have the establishment of an election hub. We have the PWD internship program. We have the deployment of sign language interpreters at the National Assembly and the House of Reps, the Senate and House of Reps, to understudy the legislature, amongst other things. So just like in Abuja, we are fortunate to have renowned representatives of the Independent National Electoral Commission. We have members of the civil society organizations and other organizations of persons with disabilities with us today. And of course, the members of the panel will be coming up shortly. So we are truly appreciative of this remarkable persons that we have in our midst. And of course, our dear supporters of the community, you're welcome once again. So let's listen and learn from our distinguished speakers, and also let's be encouraged to participate actively in the upcoming elections. Ensure you get your PVC, okay, and ensure that you're a champion for disability inclusion. Thank you and welcome.
ta yi jawabi ne akan dalilin halartarwa a nan wurin taron. Wato taro ne wanda European Union wato baturai kenan suka sa hannu a ciki, ita kuma Albino Foundation take implementing, wato ita ta organizing wannan taron a nan. Kan taron shine ya kamata masu bukata na musamman mutanenmu da lambar da muke da shi na wannan masu bukata na musamman ya kamata a ce mu ma mun taka rawa a wannan zaben da ake yi. Ya kamata a ce mu ma mun sa hannu, mun zo da kwanmu da barbatanmu mun kasance a cikin wannan shirye-shiryen zaben, kuma ba wai shirye-shiryen kawai ba, a gan mu mun yi zaɓe. Dalilin taron kenan a nan yau. Saboda haka yasa aka haɗa wannan taron a wayar mana da kai, mu samu ganewa da cewa muna fada wannan yanci na zuba kuri'a, muna da yanci na fita takara ma, muna da yanci na yi a yi da mu ko a cikin fati, muna da wannan yanci, kuma ya kamata a ce mun shiga an yi da mu. Dalilin kenan da yasa su baturan suna ga cewa ya kamata wannan demokradiyyar da muka karba mu ma mun yi shi yadda ya dace. Kuma ba za a ce an yi demokradiyya ba idan masu bukata na musamman ba su yinta. Dole ba sai muna ciki kamar za a ce demokradiyya. Wannan demokradiyya ba idan ba ma cikin ana yi da mu. Dalilin kenan da yasa ko su program banda wannan da ake na voter education, wato na wayar ma da masu zaɓe kai, wato a cikin masu bukata na musamman. Akwai wasu program da ake da shi daga Albino Foundation wanda EU wato baturai suka sa hannu a ciki. Wato shi ne ana magana 'yan majalisa, mutanenmu ya kamata su masu je su koyi da ake wannan abu, saboda su ma su samu wannan mamarin su shiga cikin ita siyasar. Duk tana cikin ajandar da muke da shi a Albino Foundation. Da kuma wasu program kamar election observation, wato masu kula da zaɓe su ga me ake yi. To BLDs wato masu bukata na musamman suna cikin duka wayannan shirye-shiryen. In Allah ya yarda ba nan da jimawa ba za a fara fito da wannan abubuwan, kuma za mu gani za su kuma amfani mu. Mun gode.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for the program manager and the presenter. I'm sorry, we are trying to set up, we have a small video presentation for us.
Akwai wata bidiyo da muke son ku kalla.
You're the host now. Connect. Yes, you're the host. Connect. Connect people. Admit people, leave. Admit people. Admit people. Admit. I'm going to log off. I'm going to log off. So on the office, and then we are not getting.
In the upcoming general elections and the subsequent outside elections. In Nigeria, future no less than 16% of persons with disabilities are eligible voters. We call it vote able. You call it participation of persons with disabilities in the electoral process. Go out and vote. From the north central to the northeast, northwest, southwest, southeast, and south-south, the ABLE Foundation is safeguarding disability inclusion in Nigeria's electoral process through its ongoing nationwide voter education campaign for the community of persons with disabilities. The Vote Able scheduled activities for the next weekend national press conference in Abuja on the 17th of October 2022, while state activities will look as follows: Abuja, October 19th, Kaduna, October 24th, Gombe, October 31st, Port Harcourt, November 7th, Enugu, November 14th, Lagos, November 21st. Vote Able. Voting is our right. This project is funded by the European Union through its EU program and brought to you by the ABLE Foundation in collaboration with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
A round of applause for us. Thank you very much. At this point, we would want to welcome our host to give us a brief goodwill message and welcome remark to properly set this event rolling.
So that people can hear what you're what you do.
My name is Muhammad Awal Mashi, and I'm the State Administrative Secretary of INEC, also the stand-in Resident Electoral Commissioner for Kaduna State. I intend to speak in English, but inshallah, as soon as I'm through, I'll speak in Hausa, give interpretation so that it will be fair to everyone, inshallah. Now, I'd like to welcome all of you to this very, very memorable and timely event. And I think it's coming at the right time because the general elections are just a stone's throw away from us. What is being done by this foundation, the ABLE Foundation, is quite commendable, and I'd like to so commend you. Now, the issue by our voting by the internally displaced persons and of course people with disability has always been a part of the policy framework of the Commission of INEC, as contained, for example, in the current edition of the Strategic Plan 2022 to 2026, which commits the Commission to the conduct of not only a free, fair, credible elections, but also elections that are inclusive of all Nigerians, regardless of their physical conditions or locations, which will not limit their participation in the electoral process. It is in this respect that benefits are derived from the Electoral Act 2022, which, among other things, provides for deployment of technology for accreditation and transmission of results and making voting more friendly for people with disability, the internally displaced persons, the aged, and the women that are visibly pregnant. At different times and in different fora, the chairman of the commission has made it clear that not only has such changes come to stay, but faithful implementation of these policies are sacrosanct. Inclusivity, therefore, has come to stay. The commission aspires to have a successful 2023 general election that will be free, fair, credible, and inclusive. In this respect, ladies and gentlemen, we share a similar dream and a common goal with the Albino Foundation. Again, with respect to enlightenment, not only of people with disability or the internally displaced persons, but for the whole voting populace, arrangements have been put in place by ANEC. Very soon, you shall see collaboration with civil society organizations, utilization of media, of drama theater, of talks, local music, etc., all aimed at addressing the importance of participating through voting, collection of permanent voters' cards, and keeping them safe, the voting procedure and election offenses such as vote buying and selling, special sensitization forum for women, for youth groups, and of course for people with disabilities. All these will be done in local languages. In this respect, therefore, what we are seeing today is actually a kind of a woof for the commission. Because what you are doing, what the Albino Foundation is doing, is like you are just reiterating what the commission has already started and which will be continuing, which will continue in earnest. Again, like we do constantly, let me use this opportunity to appreciate the Albino Foundation and other development partners of the Commission for what we are doing today and for what they have been assisting us in doing for quite a while now. Finally, I think it would be proper for me, speaking on behalf of all the Commission's offices in the Northwest Zone, to say I wish us all a very happy and fruitful deliberation. Once again, for those that came from outside of Kaduna, you are welcome to Kaduna. Then I think I should also talk about one or two other things. But let me assure all of you that you will be able to vote. The discussions we are going to hold will attest to that. On our part, like I already alluded, the Commission is ready to have an inclusive election. Nobody will be disenfranchised simply because of your physical condition. On behalf of the chairman of INEC, let me guarantee you that everybody will be free to vote as long as you are within the bracket of voting. Again, the powerful presence of the state office of INEC will attest what I'm saying. With me are about 3 or 4 other heads of department, including representative of the head of department operations. Also physically present with me is my right-hand person, like I was just telling one of the organizers, the head of department, general administration and procurement, and of course other heads of department, including our new head of department, voter education and publicity. All these will attest to the fact that we are ready to do what is proper. And finally, let me also talk about an issue that I'm very passionate about, the issue of permanent voter card. As I'm talking with you now, we've already received a portion of the permanent voter card. Let me go back a little. The public is definitely aware that we started the continuous voter registration on the 28th of June 2021 and it terminated at the end of July 2022. Now, for those that did fresh registration from the period June up to the end of up to December 2021, and again January 2022 for those that did fresh registration and for those that had transferred effected for their voters, for their permanent voters card. We have the cards ready and they've been distributed to all our 23 local government areas in Kaduna, and I'm sure the same applies to all the states in the zone and all over the country. As I'm talking to you now, we are distributing for those categories of persons. And for the rest that registered up to the end of the registration period, including those in other categories of the registration, inshallah, by the end of next month, by the end of November, all the cards for everybody will be available for collection. So let me use this opportunity to once again call upon everybody, please ensure that you collect your permanent voters card, because the permanent voters card is a synchrone for conducting election. You can never vote or be voted for without the permanent voters card. Nigeria is very technological. I mean, as far as elections are concerned, it has been written in the Electoral Act. We now have the legal backing to use technology for almost everything that we are doing, and that includes voting on election day. If you do not have a permanent voters card, you can never vote or be voted for. So let me use this opportunity to please call upon not only people with disability, not only people in the IDP camps, but all Nigerians to please ensure that you collect your permanent voters card. Thank you very much. Sorry. You see, I promised something and I almost forgotten. Na yi alƙawari kafin fara cewa dukkan bayanan da zai da turanci da ba duka mu bane turanci ma ba mu turan bane turanci da ya dan ji shi ne kana kuma na tabbatar da mafi yawancin mu a wurin nan suna jin Hausa saboda haka zan fassara dukkan bayanan da dai a yaren da muka fahimta a yaren da muke ci. Da farko ina wa kowa maraba wanda suke nan da wanda suka zo daga wasu jihohi, kuma ina son in yabi wanda suka tsara wannan taro, wato the Albino Foundation. Abin da kuke yi abu ne na yabo, abu ne wanda kun cancanci a yawa muku, kuma a madadin ciyaman na hukumar zaɓe ta ƙasa mai zaman kanta Professor Mahmud Yakubu, ina mai muku murna da kuma nuna jin daɗi akan wannan tsari da kuka yi na wannan taro. Kamar yadda aka sani, hukumar zaɓe ta ƙasa mai zaman kanta hukuma ce wanda tana tafiya da kowa da kowa. Ko kana da lafiya, ko kana da matsala, ko kana da bukata ta musamman, ko kuma kila akwai wani suma saboda matsalar tsaro da muke da shi suna tare ne a wuri ɗaya, abin da ake cewa internally displaced camps, wato wurare da aka tara mutane wanda matsalolin tsaro suka sa suka bar gidajensu, duk an tara su a kuriya. To kowa wane ne kai, ko kuma menene matsayinka? Hukumar zaɓe ta ƙasa mai zaman kanta doka ya ba mu yanci yanzu cewa ya zama wajibi a kanmu domin mu tabbatar da kowa wanda ya kamata ya jefa ƙuri'a ya jefa ƙuri'a. Kuma ina son yi amfani da wannan dama ko ba da kawai ko ma menene matsayinka, ko wace irin buƙata gare ka musamman mun muka da kawai duk wanda ya kamata ya jefa ƙuri'a sai ya jefa ƙuri'a dan da za ka jefa ƙuri'a. Wannan zahiri doka ne kuma yana cikin ma duk tsare-tsaren da muka yi na al'amuran na ayyukan hukumar zaɓe ta ƙasa ne zaman kanta, wato policy framework na hukumar zaɓe ta ƙasa. Dukkan dokokin mu sun tabbatar da dole sai mun yi, kuma yana muku alƙawari da cewa za mu kuma ciyaman na hukumar zaɓe a kullum yana ƙara jaddadawa kowane ne ko a ina kake ya yi alƙawari cewa duk ɗan Najeriya wanda ya cancanci jefa ƙuri'a kuma yana da katin jefa ƙuri'a, babu wani dalili da zai hana baka jefa ƙuri'a ka ba ranar jefa ƙuri'a. Kuma wannan shi ne kudiri na Albino Foundation. Kun ga anan muna da kudiri iri ɗaya. Sannan kuma akwai shirye-shirye da hukumar zaɓe ta yi. Wannan abin da muke yi kamar tuntuɓe ne na ɗungushi da tsare-tsaren hukumar zaɓe ta ƙasa mai zaman kanta. Saboda mun riga kuma mun yi tsare-tsaren mu gabaki ɗaya. Kwanan nan Allah ya da mu mai karanta jaridu, mu mai sauraron rediyo, mu mai kallon talabijin, mu mai duba waya inda ake bayanai na abubuwan da suke faruwa, za ku fara jin bayanai game da menene zaben da za a yi, wane ne zai takara, menene abin da ya kamata a matsayin ka na ɗan ƙasa ka yi, kuma dukkan dai tsare-tsare game da zaben nan wanda za a warwa da jama'a kai. Alhamdulillah kusan mun riga mun gaba shirye-shirye, saboda haka wannan abin da muke kamar tsari ne an ce kana da kyau ka ƙara da wanka wannan muna da kyau kuma a biyu foundation tana ƙara mana wanka ne akan abin da dama can mun riga mun yi tsari saboda haka ina mana fatan alkhairi kuma ina so in kira gare mu da cewa to Allah duk wanda bai karɓi kayan sama in ka san kayan da ka je ka sarfa mun ma riga mun fara samun kayan rajista da muka yi daga bara zuwa watan shida na bara zuwa watan bakwai da mana watan 13 da muka yi rajistar nan mun fara samun kayan wayanda suka yi taɓa yi ba da kuma da aka yi wa transfer wanda muke musu rajista cikin wayannan kategori din daga watan 6 din zuwa watan 12 na shekarar da ta wuce da kuma watan 1 na wannan shekara mun samu kayan kuma mun rarraba su ga dukkan ƙananan hukumomi kuma ana can ana rarrabawa wanda ya san ya fada a cikin wannan kategori din to ya tabbatar ya yi ofishin na kamar ƙananan hukumomi a inda ya rajista domin ka je ka karba kuma da ƙarshe ina so in kira gare mu don Allah a tabbatar da kuma an karɓi katin a adana shi saboda akwai labarai da suke zuwa cewa akwai waɗansu waɗanda suke waɗansu dabaru suna raba mutane da katin duk wanda zai zo da labari da kan zo kurege ya ce ka bashi katin ka tambaye shi da yi kar ku yadda ku da katin ku saboda mu ne hukumar zaɓe ta ƙasa ne zaman kanta in muka baka katin ka ya zama naka da dindindin ko ba wani dalili da zai sa mu je mu karɓa ko mu da wani ya je karɓa saboda haka ku rika ƙuri'ar ka ƴancin ka daga ƙarshe ina muku alƙawari kowa da ke ƙoƙara Allah shi ke wani gaba.
A round of applause again for our chief guest. We would want to, at this point, recognize the presence of some special guests who have just joined us. We have in our midst this morning, Hajia Suen Hamisu Yusuf. She is the desk officer disabilities for INEC Katsina State.
Muna son a marabce Hajiya Suwani Hamisu Suwaiba Hamisu ita ce desk officer na disability a INEC. Dan Allah ta ba masa. Okay, sorry, Katsina State.
We also have the presence in our midst this morning, the Executive Secretary for the Kaduna State Disability Affairs Board. He's Alhaji Aliyu Haruna Jakasai. Round of applause.
Kama wasu shi ne shugaban wannan hukuma masu kula da masu bukata na musamman wato executive secretary kenan namu dan Allah a tara da zai.
Thank you so much for coming. We sincerely appreciate your presence. I would like to, with the kind permission of our special guests, apologize for the break in protocol. We were supposed to have taken goodwill messages from some of our special guests. I would like to, at this point, the Administrative Secretary, INEC, has opened the occasion, but with his permission, we would like to take goodwill messages from some of our special guests present here.
Za mu so mu ɗauki sakonni na musamman daga manyan shugabannin da suke nan da suka halarta wannan taron.
So I would like to invite to the podium Hajia Aisha Abdullahi from INEC Sokoto.
A tafa ma Hajiya Aisha Abdullahi daga Sokoto. A tafa masa Allah.
The Administrative Secretary, Independent National Electoral Commission, Kaduna State. All other protocols duly are respectively observed. My name is Aisha Abdullahi, like apathy, and permit me, sir, to do some in Hausa instead of doing English and coming back to speak in Hausa, with your permission, sir. I'm here today to represent the Administrative Secretary, INEC Sokoto, Hajia Hawaii Kaigiwa, and she has directed me to convey her apology na rashin damar ta zuwa nan ta so ta zo amma kamar yadda kuka sani an buga gangumin siyasa ayyuka mu ma sun taso mana da dangane, and for that reason she was not able to make it, and she asked me to represent her. And while I'm representing her, while I stand in her capacity, abin da zan faɗi sakonta ne wanda na faɗi daidai, inda na yi kuskure kuma a ce kuskuren ne kuskure ba ita ba. So kamar yadda na yi bayani, ta umarce ni da isar da sakonta da taya murna ga wanda suka samu halartar wannan taro da kuma wanda suka shirya wannan taro. Ganin cewa lokaci ne da ya kamata mutane masu zuwa ta musamman su ƙara tabbatar da abin da hukumar zaɓe ta tare da musu, that in the electoral commission we treat persons with disability with their dignity, and we treat them with the fundamental human rights, which is what the disability is, what it stands for, and what is being defined as. And the commission has actually been doing well since 2011 to ensure that all persons with disabilities are take of and that we have visibly seen. The campaign started in Abuja, where persons with disability were actually had special registration centers in the register with someone to see that the number has actually increased and to see that their votes actually count. So that we have done also, we have replicated in the Global State Office. At least 2 days were given for persons with disability to actually go out and register prior to the closure of the registration of the CBR. And we're doing everything humanly possible to see that persons with disability are given that priority registration that it has the eligible for and see that they vote without much interference with all the assistive devices that the commission supplies. Equally, she has directed me to inform you that recently the commission has just upgraded some polling, that is also in an effort to ensure that what we know is we used to have voting points, and now those voting points have been upgraded to polling units. That is just an effort to contest voting rather than Zabi. So these are just a little just to add to what my superior has said here. And on behalf of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Sokoto, and the Administrative Secretary, who I stand here to represent, I wish you all the successful deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Virginia. We would also want to welcome to the podium the Executive Secretary, Kaduna State Disabilities Affairs Board, Alhaji Ali Haruna Yakase, for just
Thank you. The Administrative Secretary, INEC, Kaduna Office, all other invited guests from respective INEC offices within the Northwest Zone, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kaduna. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to Kaduna State Disability Affairs Board be given the opportunity of hosting this very important occasion. Issue of participation of persons with disability in elections has been for a long time something that has been worrying a lot of us. But thank God, due to the deliberate effort of INEC that is also disabled friendly, we've been beginning to see changes. Please, can we put our hands together for INEC? I would like to assure the government that Kaduna State is willing and able to continue to provide all necessary enabling environments towards ensuring that all eligible voters with disability exercise their own franchise. This is actually important because we have witnessed a lot of challenges during the recent election that passed, where most especially our dear brothers and sisters that are living with leprosy were not able to cast their vote accordingly. But thank God, INEC has assured all this time around that no one will be left behind. We sincerely thank INEC for this, and like to assure INEC that persons with disabilities are law-abiding citizens, and they will do everything possible to ensure that they exercise their franchise as at when due. Here in Kaduna State, we have the much awaited Kaduna State Disability Law passed into by His Excellency, the Governor of Kaduna State, and the law has provided and prohibits discrimination against everyone based on disability. And as such, this has given us further boost for us to work towards achieving this and ensuring that all that is due for our people, their chances will be given to them and exercise their right accordingly. It is my ardent hope and prayer that INEC will put into place all what is required to make this happen. Because it requires a lot of intervention, it requires a lot of technology to ensure that all are carried along towards achieving this direction. We will continue to keep close watch and continue to support INEC wherever they require our own support. Finally, you are welcome to Kaduna, and I do hope that this engagement will further provide a boost and further create more openings for their brothers and sisters with disability to continue to exercise their right. Not only vote, we look forward beyond voting. What we want is active participation in politics. We have the number, we can make things happen, but if we continue to stay behind and wait until only when we come to court, that is itself enough will not be enough for us to achieve whatever we want to achieve. Let us participate actively. Don't go contest for elected posts. We have the number, we have the goodwill, we have the support of the general members of the public. So I do hope members of the persons with disabilities will see this as a challenge for them to gear up and continue to ensure that they actively participate in political activities. Thank you very much for welcome to the ina manyan baki maraba da barka zuwa wannan wuri musamman shugabannin INEC daga wannan yanki na Northwest da suka samu damar zuwa Kaduna don gabatar da wannan taro mai matuƙar muhimmanci wanda ABLE Foundation da sauran partners suka haɗu don ganin cewa an yi don a wayar ma yan uwanmu masu bukata ta musamman kai a kan bukatar da ke da akwai da su dinga jefa ƙuri'a su ma su tabbatar cewa sun sauke nauyin da ke kansu kamar yadda na faɗi mu ba wai kawai muna son muga cewa suna jefa ƙuri'a kawai ba ne a'a muna son muga cewa suna shiga cikin harkokin siyasa ne ana damawa da su domin idan baka tsaya takara ba za ka kasance a ciki ba so ku dinga kai kawa kuna tsayawa takara ba ku dinga ja baya kuna ganin cewa ko a jama'a ya zo da tausayi to ko mu tausaya da jama'a suke so da son da suke kuya ko kun baka tsaya takarar ba ba za ka iya yin wani abu ba na sani da cewa wani za su tsaya ba su da kuɗi amma a nan kuna yi za a samu wanda za su tallafa muku dan ganin cewa kun tsaya takara kuma mun tabbata jama'a za su fara goyon baya kuma mu a nan za ka zo ni a kawai za a ci gaba da haka kuma Allah ya sa a ci gaba da haka muna miƙa godiyarmu da INEC da duk waɗanda suka shirya wannan taro da fatan Allah ya sa ba taro ne kawai za a zauna a tashi muna fatan duk abin da aka yi yarjejeniya za a cimma a wannan taro a tabbatar da an yi shi domin mun ga canji a shugabannin INEC mun ga irin gudunmuwan da suke musamman a jihar Kaduna musamman lokacin zaben nan lokacin rajista akwai shirin da muka yi musamman suka ce mu kawo mutanen mu kawai mu kawo mutanen mu ofishin INEC sai musu rajista kuma da haka yi muka tura su a lokaci kun ga ba fa su su ba wanda aka yi musu wannan to muna godiya muna kuma tabbatar da cewa za mu ci gaba da haɗin kai da INEC dan ganin masu bukata ta musamman sun kai ga tudun matsayar da suke yawa su kun gode kwarai da sa tashi taron lafiya.
Thank you so much, ES, for that very passionate speech. We sincerely appreciate you. Let's give a round of applause again to ES.
Haka shi babanmu da kula da mutane masu bukata na musamman a Kaduna State a ƙara sama mushi da Allah.
And if I would just mention that we gave him the notice for this event quite late. We apologize, just like we did to the AS INEC Kaduna. We sincerely appreciate your concern and commitment to the community of persons with disabilities, and we do not take that for granted.
Wanda yake an ba shi gayyatar wannan taron a karancin lokaci amma ya yi kokari ya zo da sauran manyan bakin da suka zo daga INEC mun gode muku da yadda kuka amshi wannan kiran na kuka zo kuka mana bayani akan abin da ya kamata mu sani mun gode muku.
Thank you. A round of applause. You can clap. Thank you. At this time, we will be going straight into our panel discussion.
Wato yanzu ne lokacin da za a yi magana akan ainihin abin da ya kawo nan gudu.
And the moderator for this session is Alhaji Malam Salisu Ibrahim, who is himself a person with disability.
Wato wanda zai jagoranci wannan zauren tattaunawa shine Malam Salisu Ibrahim, wanda yake shi karan kanshi mai bukata ne na musamman, wato baya gani kuma lecturer ne a jami'an Kaduna State.
She's the lecturer, Mass Communication Department with the Kaduna State University. Let's please give a round of applause as he comes to lead this session.
Okay, good morning or good afternoon. Good morning. It is a pleasure of all of us here to be in your midst, looking at such an important topic of electoral rights, political participation, with the aim of achieving an inclusive democracy. So this is a discussion panel where we are having a productive, knowledgeable, and interesting discussions who will be taking us through the topic we are looking at this afternoon. On this morning. Before going further, let me take this opportunity to introduce our discussants on this important occasion.
Firstly, we have okay. The first one I have Mr. Monday Ojonduga Okoli, Disability Inclusion Advisor, Site Savers. We have with me Dr. Rekia Shomikan, Executive Director, Women and Youth Empowerment Network Foundation. Also, Amina Rahama Audu, an Executive Director, Rebuilding Hope on Wheels Initiative, Rowing. We are also on board Haja Aisha Abdullahi, representing Sokoto State Resident Electoral Commissioner. While welcoming all of you on board, I would like to invite the Administrative Secretary, Kaduna State Independent National Electoral Commission, to please join the panel. My name is Salis Ibrahim, moderating the session. Before, once again, you are all welcome, and we all of us looking forward to productive and fruitful inputs from all of you. Welcome once again. Before going into proper business of the day, let me quickly take an opportunity to recap the situation. As we may be aware, persons with disabilities, not only in Nigeria, have been suffering from stigmatization and discrimination, which has usually been affecting their self-esteem and, in most cases, limiting their participation not only in political process but only in other aspects of public life. It is on the background of this sitting initiated, as mentioned earlier, by Albino Foundation with support from the European Union. In Nigeria, for example, the National Population Commission estimated that there are 19 million Nigerians with different disabilities, representing at least 10% of the national population. I think this is a quite great number, not a small number. The marginalization or discrimination of persons with disabilities in any form contradicted the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, Article 29, that requires all state parties to create an environment for effective and full participation of persons with disabilities in politics and other public affairs. Nigeria is a signatory to this protocol and its optional protocol. Nigeria signed the UNCRPD and optional protocol on March 30, 2007 and September 24, 2010 respectively. So it is in line of this, we are sitting here looking at the electoral process or electoral issues affecting persons with disabilities. What we are looking at, that is the topic of this sitting, is security issues around disability, prevalent gaps in electoral rights of persons with disabilities, priority voting access to polling units, voting requirements, voter apathy, and individual cluster needs of disability, which is very, very important. And with this, once again, welcome all of our discussions and also welcome all of you as participants to this important gathering. And Starting with you, Mr. Mani, I would like to ask you this question. How do you think still present security situation in Nigeria affecting electoral rights or access to disabilities?
Good morning, once more. The Chief Secretary has now disability affairs force, the electoral desk officer of the Northwest State President and Distribution, my legal discussants and participants, my constituents, persons with disability who are here today and who are the center of discussion. Yes, the security situation has a lot to play in preventing persons with disability from effectively participating in the ongoing electoral process. I'm happy that the Apilo Foundation, in collaboration with the European Union, are taking a step ahead to look at persons with disability from this angle because people with disability are not really actors or their cases are not looked at in terms of the security challenge we have. Other people might be able to run or escape where there are challenges, where there are opera or rioting or snatching of ballot boxes by political opponents or songs. That for an individual with disability, it becomes very difficult to run away or to escape in the event of violence, post-free, and during election. It's usually very difficult. And I assure you that most times, myself, in the 2019 election, I had to summon courage to go out to vote. While I was going out to vote, one of the questions that keep coming up from people around me was, should there be violence? How will you cope? How would you escape? That was the question. Because usually, you and I know that our electoral processes are usually married, lots of violence and what have you. And looking at the security, the strength of our security force, you will have said that our security force are under attack. Under normal circumstances, you are supposed to have one policeman to 10 people. But as it is, you have one policeman to 1,000 people in Nigeria. I will show that the security apparatus we have in the country is understaffed and do not have the capability to deal with some of the electoral violences that might come up. And so this fear alone scares us, and I'm sure I'm speaking our minds, from participating in the electoral process. The 2018 National Health Demographic Survey shows that, from what my colleague has said, that we have about 25 million persons with disability in the country. And so this is a very great threat that needs to be looked at. And then all security agencies and the INEC electoral officials will have to look at this persons with disability must effectively participate in the ongoing electoral processes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mandi. But before going further, we are talking of inclusion. Let us be as inclusive as possible. I'm sincerely apologize for speaking, forgetting the fact that in our midst, we have our brothers and sisters who will give interpretation of what we are saying. Let me take this opportunity, use a few minutes before requesting the diligence of Mr. Mandi to quickly repeat what I said. We are going na ta magana da su mun manta da cewa akwai wanda ya kamata mu fassara da Hausa da mu amfani su. Abin da muke shata da shi ne zaman da muke yau za mu duka matsalolin tsaro ne da yadda za a shigar da mutane masu ƙasa cikin harkokin zaɓe a Najeriya. Kuma gidauniyar taimakawa mutane masu albinism da tallafi ƙungiyar tarayyar turai su ne suka shirya wannan zaman da muke yau. Kuma mun yi magana a gurguje cewa mutane masu nakasa sun daɗe suna fuskantar kyama da wariya da bambance-bambance a duniya ba ma a Najeriya kawai ba, abin da kuma yake shafar wazansu na tafiyar da rayuwa ko kuma ya hana su shiga cikin harkokin ba zaɓe ba kawai, amma da sauran harkoki da suka shafi rayuwar ne a jama da kullum. Hakan kuma ya saba wa sashi na 19 na kudirin majalisar ɗinkin duniya na tabbatar da kare haƙƙoƙin mutane masu nakasa da kuma wanda Najeriya ta amince da shi a shekara ta 2007 da kuma ta 2010. Sannan muka yi magana cewa aƙalla hukumar gida jama'a ta Najeriya ta ce akwai 'yan Najeriya miliyan 19 da suke fama da nakasa. Wannan ya kai kusan kashi 10 na ɗaukacin mutanen Najeriya da aka ce mun kai kusan miliyan 200. Kuma mun magana cewa mutanen da za mu tattauna da su a yau din nan akwai Monday Okoli wanda shi ne yake ba wa ƙungiyar sai ba shawara kan shigar da mutane masu nakasa cikin harkokin yau da kullum na rayuwa. Sannan akwai da tarayya shodukan wacce ita kuma darakta ce ko shugaba ce sai gidauniyar taimakawa mata da matasa. Akwai kuma Amina Rahama Audu wacce ita ma shugaba ce ta wata ƙungiya da take kokarin taimakawa mutane masu nakasa. Sannan muna da Aisha Abdullahi wacce ita take wakiltar kwamishinan zaɓe na jihar Sokoto. Sannan muna tare da Awal Mashi wanda shi ne jami'in gudanarwa wato harkokin mulki a hukumar zaɓe ta na jihar Kaduna. Ba ta kai abin da muka faɗa kenan. Sannan muka tambayi Mr. Monday ya gaya mana yadda matsalolin tsaro da muke fama da su yanzu a ƙasar nan suke shafar shigar ko hankokin masu nakasa na yin zaɓe. Musamman da duk ya yi magana a turanci zan so na ba ka minti ɗaya da Allah ka gaya wa wanda suke buƙatar Hausa abin da ka gaya mana nan.
Assalamu alaikum. Video a kotu na warkowa. Kuma za ku gane da Hausa na. So, a kai magana da na faɗa da shi ne, sai harkar zaɓe da mai kasa shirin a koya. Saboda wani lokaci in za a yi zaɓe, aka zai cewa ko kan a yi zaɓe akwai so aiki shafi suka zo baya. Musamman su yan siyasa wanda suka yi rati kuriya da aka jefa wanda kuma suka ta da mamanin soyi a kushin hakan siyasa. So wannan kawai ya isa ya so wata da mai da kasa kada ya fita in je zaɓe. Na ba da misali da kai na a 2019 da aka yi zaɓe na shugaban kasa. Ko ni kawai na robe ne, ba na suna ba gaba ne. Na tashi zan ke yin sa da na dole suna yi wata. Amma da zan fita, tsoro na shi ne in na sa koriya na kuma wani kusa su in kuka sa koriya sai a kusa aiki riga. A nan wurin aka tsaye da fada. Wanda sun kai shewa masu da suna cin zaɓen nan ba, za su tsaye da fada su kwashe akwatin zaɓe kuma a kuye ya ba da wani matsalar su. Kuma muka duba cewa jami'ar tsaro na Najeriya ba su isa su gudanar da tafiyar zaɓe ba don mai sun kasa. Ana tunanin cewa akwai a cikin kowane mutane guda 10 ana da ɗan sanda guda ɗaya yana tare da su. Amma yi ainihin kasar gaba ɗaya abu ya wuce haka. So yadda wannan shirin wannan irin matsalolin nan yakan hana wanda yana da kasa ya fita da tsari. Amma idan ana so wanda yana da kasa ya samu ya tashi ma ya ci a koriyarsa wanda zuma shi ne yanci na shi kenan ya kamata a rufa tafai da tsoro kuma a kula da duk wanda yana da kasa wanda ya fito ya nuna yancinsa na zaɓe a kula da shi ya yi tafa koriyarsa ya koma gida ba tare da an samu wani matsala ba.
Then we are going to our next question. which I would like to direct it to Dr. Rakia. Please, is there any connection between societal perception or notion about persons with disabilities and their participation in our electoral process? Abinda muka yi tambaya shine muna so mu san ko akwai alaƙa tsakanin yadda al'umma take kallon mutane masu nakasa da kuma shigar su cikin harkokin zaɓe. Dakta za ki dan amsa mana a turanci kuma a gurgurde da
I would like to see the condition of the yes, there's a relationship between the societal perception of persons with disability and their participation in politics and even the electoral process. Why do I say so? We all come from different societies, and the basic and fundamental unit of the society is the family. And we know it starts from there. Because most times we find that at the family level, these persons are usually, whether by choice or not, relegated to the background. Very few are carried along even within their family. So you find that that kind of perception of, oh, this person will not be able to maybe do a number of things, they're already sidelined. And there is already that stigmatization from that level. And I remember I said by choice, if by choice I would be, not intentional. Sometimes it's even out of pity. Thinking you are teaching the person, oh, this activity or this kind of assignment may be too difficult for this person. Whereas we all know that there is ability in disability. So it starts from the family and then of course to the community where maybe there will be need for meetings or congregational gatherings or even school, society. The persons with disabilities have rights, basic rights, human rights, to education, health, living. Or you find that even to get to school, it is sometimes a problem. And so they may be excluded. Society already decides that, oh, this one should not go for this kind of education, or this one should not even at all go to pursue their education or career. So you see, and it's a progression from the family to the community, to the larger society, and then to the state, and even nationwide, local government as well. But we are happy that things are happening. Things are changing, though gradually, but we can see that, yes, it is there. That perception, that discrimination, is there. So, I think the next year, shi ne cewa a tambayar da yi akwai alaƙa da masu bukata na musamman da shiga harkokin zaɓe ko harkokin zaɓe ko siyasa sai na ce na ce tun daga gida ne ba abin da ke komawa domin akwai matsala iri-iri ka san ko daga gida wani bi ko don ana so ko da gangan ko kuma don ana tausayin masu na ƙasa sai ka dace a bar wani ka a yi da wani ka kuma abin ya yi shi yawa ko ya yi mata yawa nan ko ba haka ba ne akwai ability yadda ake so a cikin lissafi cikin bukatar nan akwai abin da mutum na ma zai yake iya yi ko ba haka ba So sai mu gani da fito daga gida ko zuwa kuma mun san cewa kundin tsarin mulki ya ce cewa kowa na da dama rights, kowa yanci yawa yancin rai life sannan kuma a nemi karatu a sami zuwa asibiti a sami ciwon lafiya da sauransu. To amma har kun gani wani bi daga ma gida sai ka ga hana yara zuwa makaranta cewa a wannan ba zai iya ba kowa ce ba za ta iya ba ko kuma ga nesa ga wuri ya nesa ta a zo anguwa ta a zo community angwani a zo local government abin sai ya zo yana zama kamar ruwan dare abin da dare ko yana karuwa yana bunƙasa amma kuma da ya ce to amma mun ga kokarin da gwamnati take yi da kuma ƙungiyoyi da kamar su INEC da sauransu domin a kau da irin wannan bambance shi yasa aka tara mutane yau a san cewa musamman masu bukatu na musamman cewa bai kamata kun san rights ɗin ku ƴancin ku kun san cewa bai kamata mu kuma sauran mu kuma ya kamata mu fahimta cewa bai kamata a hana masu bukata na musamman ci gaba a rayuwarsu ta fannoni da yake suna da alhaki zan ce domin it's their right it's also their responsibility cewa su shiga a dama da na gode.
Please, we want to be as brief as possible or as concise as possible while pointing out all our concerns. So we need to be concise considering the time factor, please. Our next question is, we want to know the specific voters, like issues affecting voters with disabilities. And I would like to have response from Amina Audu. Abin da muke tambaya shi ne muna so mu san me ya takamammun matsalolin da masu zaɓe da suke da ƙasa ko masu da ƙasa suke samu wajen jefa guda. Amina, please. Concise. Okay, sorry, in the absence of Amina, I think let me refer this question to Aisha Abdullahi. Aisha.
Even though I'm not a person with disability, but I think some of the issues that were raised by Mr. John and my sister over there, Ms. Sholishan, are actually the issues of concern for persons with disability. And these are the issues that actually lead to voter apathy, that reduce them from coming out to vote or even to participate in the electoral process. And of course, the issue of security is one, which is a major concern to everybody, not only a person with disability. It's an issue of concern to everybody. We all know the challenges our country is facing, and with the Commission having very little it can do to address that. But issue of security is actually one very big factor. Issue of not knowing how to go about voting is another thing, and that is why we're having conversations like this. Issues of not being able to use the assistive devices provided by INEC is also another thing. And of course, the most important one is the discrimination, which my sister over there tried to address. Now, she said from the house, discrimination starts. And it's also what transpired to what we all go out to face. And because of that discrimination, persons with disability do not want to go out and vote. And I'll just do that from the perspective of INEC, what is doing to address these concerns which we have raised.
We are coming to that.
Okay.
Yeah, please, you have 90 seconds to go.
Okay. Basically, these three things. da ya haɗa da rashin sani ya za a jefa ƙuri'a, rashin isasshen wayar da kai, tsangwama da ake samu, matsalolin tsaro, matsalar yadda ma za ka isa ko abin da ita hukumar zaɓe ta tanada da kuma wuraren da ake amfani da su na jefa ƙuri'a. Accessibility issues are major issues that hinders participation of persons with disability at the polling unit or in election. While other issues are also related to the political parties, wanda wannan yana faruwa ne a cikin jam'iyyun siyasa, rashin ba da dama da samun mutane masu zuwa ta musamman su shiga cikin sha'anin gudanarwa na jam'iyyun siyasa, da kuma mutane su yarda cewa suna da gudunmuwa da za su iya badawa. That is from the perspective of the political parties.
Okay, thank you, Aisha. Our next question is, do you consider the structure of our polling units a barrier to persons with disabilities inclusion in our electoral system? And I would like Mr. ABLE2VOTE, Administrative Secretary, INEC State, to look at this. And you can briefly include the issue of security, what is behind it.
Thank you very much, sir. Like I said, I made one or two observations when they was talking about the issue of security. Now, I do not wish to look at it from a simplistic perspective, but basically it's going to be looked at politically. You see, the issue of security, when, for instance, on election day, you go to cast your vote, God forbid, aka samu barkewa ta matsala. The person that is threatened is not the person with disability alone. As a matter of fact, the bandits will begin to look at those that have left, that are on the way, to deal with them before dealing with people with disability. And that's what So that is why the Commission has decided to look at the issue of security holistically and very, very seriously. There is what we call the ICSED, Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. Now, as the name implies, it is a committee made up of, the Commission, which is basically the chair of the committee, and it comprises all the uniform forces, both military and paramilitary, that exist in the country. And the Commission has made it a point of duty that every 3 months, not necessarily during election, but every 3 months, the committee, the ICSED, sits, looks at and review issues of security. We raise, the threat levels based on 3 perspectives: the green, the amber, and the red. Of course, as the name implies, the green are places that are relatively safe. The amber are places that are neither safe nor unsafe, while the red zones are definitely places that have security first. And we deal with those places based on, the categorization during election. And again, gives this opportunity to assure everyone that on election day, every one of the 176,464 polling units that we have in Nigeria and the 8,012 that specifically we have here in Kaduna will be manned by security personnel. There will not be a single polling unit that will not be manned by security. So the one to that IKG, the Chewa, Balas, and security, I think is a thing that we can do away with. I can go and what can that somebody that was one you give for this and so they come out. Sannan mu dawo kan tambayar da kai, ya yi tambaya ne akan cewa menene matsaloli da ake gani masu jefa ƙuri'a ranar zaɓe, musamman mutane masu buƙatar kan musamman ko masu musakanci da kowace kafa suke iya samu a ranar jefa ƙuri'a. Okay, what?
Polling units. You think that they are barrier to the inclusion of persons with disabilities in the process?
Okay, the answer basically is yes and no. Yes, because it used to exist, but no, those matsaloli da ake fuskanta yanzu hukumar zaɓe ta ƙasa mai zaman kanta ta ɗauki matakan da za a tabbatar da cewa duk wani mai wani irin matsala ta masakarci ko makaho ne ko gurgu ne ko kurma ne ko kuturi ko wani ne akwai provision da aka yi specifically da zai address din wayannan matsaloli da suke fuskanta. Misali idan an zo zaɓe ranar da za a yi zaɓe, akwai braille ballot papers wanda mun yi producing, kuma akwai zaɓuka da aka yi tsakanin daga lokacin da aka yi zaɓe na 2019 zuwa yanzu, wanda an yi zaɓe masu yawan gaske a ƙasar nan, kuma an yi wannan gwaje-gwaje an tabbatar da cewa za su yi amfani. Maganar braille ya shafi makafi ne, misali duk wanda ije zai jefa ƙuri'a a fiye da ido, za a ba shi wannan takarda da jefa ƙuri'a wato ballot paper. Dukkan jam'iyyun nan 18 da aka rikita a ƙasar nan an rubuta suna su da braille, akwai hotunan su da sauransu wanda kawai by feel. To alhamdulillah. To din yes akwai matsalar da amma yanzu an tsara yadda ba wata matsala da wani mai bukata ta musamman zai fuskanta in Allah ya da. Ba mu lokacin da zai bayani amma ina da tabbatar muku ko wani ne matsalar mutum insha Allah ranar zaɓe ba za ka ci matsala.
Mr. Monday, what do you think we are collectively doing to remove the existing gaps for full, effective, and effective participation of persons with disabilities in our democracy?
Thank you for this group. First, when we get the matter was that I want to create the impression. I want to also create to correct the impression that persons with disability are not usually considered in terms of security challenge. I can give an example of one also of us here who we are counterbandits. It's a large business they are shops. So when it comes to the current prevailing security circumstances we are being faced with now, does not discriminate against any person. Whether you are a person with disability or without disability, once you are confronted by bandits or hoodlums, they have an objective. We are not that we can so that as policy makers, as program designers, when we do this, we also factor in. We have two of our persons. One was beaten 2 weeks after it was attacked. He was physically abused like myself. They came for him. He said, "Carry me on your back and go." They said, "We'll come for your wife." The wife also died. They beat him. 3 weeks later, he died. We died witness this year. So, the chance to power would have got a compare the other, okay, or what is he handled the shame one day. Someone has two bandits, so that I would have got. So, he done shirin a kudin tafiya da jama'a a duba ne kasa akwai abin a duba United Nations Convention of Persons with Disability as domesticated by the National Act of Prohibition Against Persons with Disability. Talk about equity, not equality. There's a place for equity. Yes, we know that everybody is involved. Yes, but persons with disability should be given a priority. Now, actually, Shiri, one day, that Shiri, barriers, because the first body, I'm not only the house, she never has over. The Azai, I can show her, ya, and what she was, ya, she, review. One is that this our INEC president, accept. Bring electoral materials as a move must sign language during election. One is actually interpreting that one day so much to position important participation. Then we look at the issue of accessibility. Now institutional barrier. Come on, how one you in a poor dinner, can put your Dr. Amina, one down the shit, I wouldn't below. I should the owner will tell matter about the Masala. As some of them in the public building, voting centers, in the Aquarian, this so as a Morans, one day, because I can put your and I can get is a much power. So these are some of the things that we are doing, and that's what scientific organization like Scientific is also doing. And I'm happy that INEC is also moving in and is also doing the same because we have a lot of interfaces and we have the truth. INEC is trying to improve to ensure that persons with disabilities needs are actors during the electoral process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Monday. And what Mr. Monday is saying is as the same as what social model of disability suggests. That it is the society that makes life, disabled people disabled or are functioning or dysfunctioning by making reasonable adjustments that would accommodate their peculiarities. So please, let's work together for providing accommodations to take care of our respective peculiarities. Going on, how could take care of individual disability cluster would promote inclusive democracy? This question I would like response from Aisha, representative of Rexo. Okay, the question is that we have different disabilities. We have cluster, we have blind, we have physically challenged. How do you think introduction of mechanisms that could address their individual needs based on their cluster could help in the promotion of inclusive democracy?
Okay, thank you very much. And just like Mr. Monty has applauded INEC, I believe INEC is one of the most disability-friendly organizations we have had in Nigeria. Even before signing of the Disability Act, INEC has already taken measures to see. But let me just quickly address some of the issues that were concerned with about accessibility issues. When we're talking about accessibilities and what INEC uses for the election day, we all know that there are public buildings which are not built by INEC. These are existing structures. They are mostly public schools which have been in existence. All we do is, in line with the framework on access and participation of persons with disability, is we also advocate to ministries of education, proprietors of schools, and owners of public buildings to make such places accessible. And Mr. Monday has just said that is part of what they are doing. So we alone cannot make the route to be accessible because we don't own them. It's the community and it's also the organization. So yana da kyau mu yi kokari mu taimaka ma INEC. Already muna da kundi da yake magana akan wannan. Kuma wa'annan makarantun ne kamar yadda muka sani da ake amfani da su don jewa ƙuri'a da sauran wurare na jama'a ba wuri bane da INEC take da shi. Wuri ne wanda ya Allah kila ma'aikatanmu na gwamnati ko kuma masu makarantu ne masu zaman kansu suke da. Wanda dukkanmu muna da damar da za mu ta ƙara murya bisa ga abin da INEC take yi. Most importantly da yake Najeriya ta sa ma dokan mutane masu lalura na musamman hannu. Kuma wanda abu na ɗaya daga cikin tsarukan da ke ciki shine a yi samu wurare su zama accessible to mutane masu lalura ta musamman. So kuma muna amfani da wurare ne. Sai tambayar kashe-kashen mutane masu lalura ta musamman ko akwai tanadin da INEC ta yi musu. Akwai tanadi da aka yi musu kamar yadda administrative secretary na INEC da ya fara faɗi. Mutane masu lalura ta gani ko the visually impaired are a cluster of the persons with disability. And in 2019, we all witnessed the Grey Ballot Guide. Inda muke da kusan jam'iyyun siyasa, political parties about 21 of the suka contesting for zaɓe. And we all have them replicated in the Grey Ballot Guide. I don't know if the Kaduna office has a sample so that we can showcase it. That's for the visually impaired. We have the Grey Ballot Guide.
Okay.
This is the jacket. This is the jacket. Kamar yadda za mu iya gani, jaka ce da za a sa ballot paper. Kun san a 2019 muna da jam'iyyun siyasa kusan 90 da wani abu da suka yi takarar shugaban kasa. And I'm sure idan turin magana ya koma ga shi chairman zai iya karanta mana jam'iyyun siyasa. And this was what was used in 2019. Kuma abin da ake so shine idan aka baka Grey Ballot za a sa shi ciki ne. Idan aka sa, it will enable you to read, and there is a place where you can thumbprint. So for any visually impaired voter who can actually read, the Grey Ballot jacket serves And now that we have 18 political parties, the brave ballot jacket will not be as long as this. Kalan ya dan canza bayan da yake yanzu ba kuma political parties din ba za su kai yawan haka ba. So this is just a sample of what we used in 2019. But in 2023 and the off-season election we had, the brave ballot jacket is not like this. Now, Madam Basanko, I can use your one of his documents. Election guarantee instruction.
Okay.
Now, okay. Now this is a sample of election guarantee instruction. This assistive device has been used in the off-season election of Oshun and Anambra, where a person with disability who is visually impaired can read the content of what the election is and how to go about voting, while he use braille ballot guide to cast his vote. We also have a form which we call the form EC30, which is also an election guarantee instruction.
Sorry, Aisha, as I was drawing my attention, we are coming to all such provisions. So we want to be as concise as possible. Being concise is just providing us with information we are asking. All the provisions, whatever provisions made by INEC will be asked, in due course.
Okay.
Yes.
So just to say yes, the commission has made provision for each and every cluster of personnel.
And do you think that such provisions concerning individual cluster is helpful to the promotion of inclusive democracy?
Indeed, yes.
Yes.
Because it helps them to vote themselves.
That's interesting. Thank you so much. Briefly, before going further with our questions, as I was asked by INEC, what I have here is AA, CNP, NIP, EA, NNPP, and other people. We have
These effectively are the parties, the 91 political parties that contested in the 2019 general election. So for the approximately, the nobody shall look at.
We have DPC, we have NPC. Duka ga su nan dai su 91. So ina jin INEC deserves commendation. And this is what we want to see for inclusive democracy. We want our democracy to be as participatory as possible, whereby everybody, but what I want to say here is that we want to see what part of this campaign, what ABLE Foundation is doing, is not only for persons with disabilities to go and vote, but also to contest. So we want to see as many persons with disabilities as possible in the forthcoming elections in the country, in our chambers of legislatures, and even in our government houses. Please. Then the next question is that Mr. Monday Okoni, I want you to answer this question. We have been talking of inclusion and voting requirements for persons with disabilities. Please, what are the specific voting requirements for persons with disabilities in our electoral process?
Thank you. As much as I'm aware, the voting requirement is a general requirement as every other president is. For persons with disability, some cases, on a given amount of personal, what do you remember? When the ownership is and the kuma every bank has their own account. Say after two hours ago, the bank share you so what to put inside the account. The margin complete. Mobile having focusing as a day. Open ocean never Korea. When so machine now is not complete. The gas about when you do not compare the standard, the order. You have to do a rule with the fine such that fingerprint namu da wuya this some machine din ta identify it's a big barrier. So one day ya sa completing has to be a year such as like you are not qualified. The payment and the posting and the voter card, there are some that voters in this one, I want to back up, but you are good. The voting machine has rejected the vote. So now, so already done some that are banking about someone. My one name must have been done for special, and then address one. So I do what the agent. Certain once department, she didn't already Mungani is being taken care of. But when you maybe she is, I wouldn't think out in China. When I was suddenly to Yoa, when I actually show one day, 5 days after, I put up one. I completed, come up when I get that. I adapted. When I get that, I yes, one day, fingerprint people say, but one say, according to machine that recognizing face number. So these are some of the requirements. So then, we decide to give a Korea, a dedicated line, one day, because I say, give a Korea. In and move our one family, not for the sure, and I think all of our needs are taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was all. I would like to take this opportunity once again to welcome on board Mr. Abdurrahman Kubau, representing Kebbi State Resident Electoral Commissioner, who is also Mr. Kubau, this question needs our response. To what extent our political parties can be helpful to disability inclusion and accessibility in our political process? Abin da muke tambaya shi ne, wanda irin taimako ko gudunmawa jam'iyyunmu na siyasa na su iya badawa wajen shigar da mutane masu nakasa cikin harkokin siyasa gadan-gadan.
Good afternoon. The issue, sir. Okay. The issue of political parties providing platform for people with disability to participate in politics or to contest election. If you look at the constitutions of the political parties, there is no discrimination. Whether you are disabled or you are able, you will be able to contest. And there is provisions in the Electoral Act and in the Constitution that every Nigerian has the right to vote or be voted for. So by that, people with disability are free to contest elections. But the political parties, we have to draw their attention. And our people with disability have to participate actively in the party politics before they allow them contest elections. Even women, they are fighting seriously to fight for direct and contest elections. So people with disability have to fight for that right. Provision everybody chance to contest for election. Abin da suke cewa shi ne dokokin jam'iyyun siyasa da tsarin mulkin su ya ba da dama ga kowa ya tsaya takara ko kuma ya shiga siyasa da ya ga dama. Haka kuma dokar kasa da dokar zaɓe ta ba da dama kowa ya takara ko ya shiga siyasa da yake so. Dalilin shi ne a ce kai ma za ka iya zaɓa kuma za ka iya zaɓen ka. So abin da za mu yi shi ne mutane masu bukata ya kamata su shiga jam'iyyu in kuma suka shiga su ma su yi kokari su ba da gudunmawa sosai wanda zai ba su dama
sinima cewa a zaɓe su takara musamman ko majalisar jiha ko kansila ko wani abu don su samu dama. Domin su samu dama sai kuma su taimaka wajen gina ƙasa.
Mun gode kwarai Mr. Abdulrahman, amma muna so mu gan su har gwamna sun fara nema. Dr. Rekia Shodiban, please, I want to give you just 1 minute. Do you think the provisions of Section 54, subsection 1 and 2 of the 2022 Electoral Act could be of any help for our electoral process and democracy to persons with disabilities?
Thank you. Yes. Should be one, sorry.
Should be of help. That is,
yes.
Do you think it can address the challenges and experience by persons with disabilities?
Yes, I think so, because the whole essence of the Electoral Act is to bring about new, well, I would say changes completely, but add to what other things were earlier neglected or overlooked. So that of the electoral section 64, I think that's the one that talks right, about involving persons with disability and making the electoral process more conducive for them by provisions specifically to INEC. And I believe so, you have already seen INEC doing, and I know there's still ground for better improvement. So I think the nake shine wannan tsarin dokan na Electoral Act wato da aka yi don a ɗan ƙara wasu abubuwa musamman don masu bukatu na musamman. Ƙarin nan da aka yi domin a tabbatar cewa an duba bukatunsu musamman don lokacin zaɓe ko abin zaɓe musamman ya zai taimake su sosai na musamman domin ainihin kan da ta so masa wasu abubuwa a hanyar.
Mr. Awal Mashi, 1 minute also for you. How do you think that INEC framework on accessibility and inclusion of persons with disabilities being implemented could be of any help to achieve the goal of inclusion?
Like I alluded earlier, INEC attempt or have the goal of inclusivity. Like I said earlier, it's part of the INEC policy framework. It's been in the Electoral Act and other publications of the Commission before the 2022 Electoral Act. And the aim that we set is to ensure that everyone, irrespective of who you are, irrespective of where you are, is included in the electoral process. And we're going to, lots of fields, we give a soft landing for the implementation of, social policy. So I believe that we are going to be good. We've started, like my sister said, previous, off-season elections, and these things have been implemented, and they've been found to be very, very worthwhile and implementable. We are going to see more of that, especially during the 2023 general election.
Thank you so much. Our penultimate question quickly going to Aisha Abdullahi. Please, Aisha, could you briefly inform the House the level of implementation of this framework? How far are you going in the implementation?
Thank you very much, moderator. But let me quickly throw more light where you can also hold INEC responsible. Now, Section 54 has talked about priority voting, provision of assistive devices, and we all know what a law means, which INEC's activity are guided by Electoral Act. Idan abin da ke cikin wannan kundin wanda yake INEC shi take dubi domin gudanar da zaɓe ba ta yi shi ba, kada mu manta daga farko INEC kafa ce ko ma'aikata ce wadda ake iya kai ƙara kuma ake kai ƙararta. To bari mu ba ku dan sata amsa da cewa idan ba a yi muku abin da ya kamata ba kuma kun tabbatar da kun kai kun matsa a wurin mutane waɗanda suke gudanar da zaɓe ba su kuna da damar da akan wannan abin da yake cikin electoral act ko kundin zaɓe ku kai ita hukumar zaɓe mai zaman kanta kotu domin jan haƙƙi. Sai tambayar da aka yi mini akan cewa framework yaushe muna ganin kamar hukumar zaɓe mai zaman kanta tana amfani da shi kuwa ni ko zan ce because a wannan framework din yana da sashe guda hudu wanda ɗaya shine ita karan kanta hukumar zaɓe ta zamanto cewa ta kula da cikin ayyukanta da tsare-tsarenta sha'anin mutane masu lalura ta musamman. And that is why myself representing administrative secretary and my colleagues who are behind from Kasina are desk officers of disability desk officers in our various states. Wannan abu ne wanda kowace jiha in the 36 states of the federation akwai shi. And musamman we have a department that is called gender and inclusivity. Ensure that persons with disability are inclusive.
Alhamdulillah, Aisha zan ce da ke nan amsa da shi ne kuna implementing din shi da kamata saboda lokaci. Ina so zan ba wa dukkanin sakan goma for last comments, starting from one.
All right. That's what I was trying to see. We're trying to get we can't even get that. You have to see. Yeah, but okay. Kawai ƙara masa ko a ƙara biyan da so a wannan magana da kuka ji muna so ga ainihin mun san ka fara amma akwai there's need for improvement so we want to see improvement and with this assurance muna so kai ko ga wani na masu bukata su fito 2023 election mu nuna cewa akwai ability in disability. Muna cewa there is nothing about us without us. Kuma muna so ku doka this platform ku kai ko ga su gwamnati ko kuma masu neman kujera cewa idan suka samu kuka ba su goyon baya sun shi ba ne a shekarar da zuwa su ba mu positions kuna muna son commissioner muna son mu get special advisors ba people with disability not to get abin da muna so da
Thank you. A gurguje muna so ku masu wannan bukatu na musamman ku tashi tsaye. Kun san ba abin da za a ƙwato maka za a ba ku kyauta. Kai za ka tashi ka ƙwato da kanka. Don haka ku haɗa kai ku ci gaba da wannan tafiya sannan muna fata Ubangiji Allah ya fiye kai mu da nasara. Sannan mun kuma ƙungiyoyi masu zaman kanmu muna da aiki. Gaskiya amma ana ƙoƙari amma ya kamata mu ƙara ba da gudunmawa da haɗin kai da wannan tafiya. Sannan su ainihin ce muku jinjina amma kuma a ci gaba.
Na suka ko muka hawa nayi dan da magana da amma zai kokari da suke da farko su ne saboda yayi magana cewa akwai matsala da suke fuskanta a matsayin su na masu bukata ta musamman yayi magana cewa an wani misali ba da wani abu wanda ya samu matsala saboda zai da fingerprint to alhamdulillah akwai abin da muke cewa bypass technology wanda mun yi amfani da shi lokacin da muke rajistar nan kuma hatta mutane wanda ba su da yasa an musu rajista ko za su biya kuri'a saboda abin da muke amfani da shi ne ba a bivas machine bivas kuma shi ne ba modern voter application ba yi yana da biyu ko a ɗauki hoton yatsa ko kuma a ɗauki hoton fuska saboda haka mun yi nisa a kan wannan sai magana ta biyu a taƙaicen ina so in yi amfani da wannan dama ba shi moderator waɗannan ballot papers da muka yi amfani da su domin a ƙara yaɗawa duniya ta san cewa hukumar zaɓe ba abu da take ba muna ƙoƙari wannan wanda muke da shi amfani mun yi amfani da shi ne a 2019 general election ina son a yaɗa za mu ƙara amfani da shi sai dai yanzu ya ma fi ci gaba don bai da girma. Wancan da muke amfani da su jam'iyyu da guda 91 wannan ko jam'iyyu da guda 18. Saboda haka a madadin hukumar zaɓe ta kasa da zaman kanta ina ƙara maka wani takardu domin a yi ayyuka. Sannan kuma wanda yana magana cewa yana so mu da assurance da inclusivity. Ina da tabbatar muku da cewa wallahi inclusivity ya zo kuma zai zauna za mu ci gaba da tafiya da shi ba wani abin da za mu yi ba tare da kowa. A zahiri shi ne kuma kana ta ƙarshe ina so in tabbatar muku da cewa wannan aiki da za a yi na zaɓe mai zuwa na 2023 yanzu da can da nake muku mun buɗe platform wanda muke ɗaukar ma'aikatan da za su yi mana zaɓe. Ina mai tabbatar muku duk wani mai buƙata ta musamman idan ya hau platform ɗin ya nema za mu ba shi aiki ya mana aiki a wasu
gaskiya malam awal ya wuce sakan goma amma na kara mai sosai malam abdulrahman sakan goma.
Already, Red and Administrator Kaduna said it all. But what I want to say is to assure you that Commission is ever ready to assist in whatever capacity it can to make sure that people with disability participated actively in the electoral process. Cewa hukumar zaɓe suna cikin shiri kowane lokaci don ta ba mutane masu buƙatar dama su yi zaɓe, su shiga harkokin siyasa kuma su zaɓe yadda ya kamata. Shi yasa hukumar zaɓe ta fito da abubuwa da dama da za ta taimaka muku wajen zaɓe. Kuma ta ƙara yawan rukunan zaɓe kuma mutumin da yake son dama ya rijista dama ya kamata ya rijista kusa da gidansa da zai samu sauƙin zuwa wajen da zai yi zaɓe.
What woman can do, what man can do, a woman can do any later. Aisha, you mana, second woman.
Well, me, I would always say as an advocate, I would always say what a man can do, a woman can do, but with the man's support. Yes, with the man's support. With the man's support. So, I think the next question is we cannot have a transparent and credible election without the participation of all. And you cannot participate except you have your voter's card. So pick up your voter's card, your vote is your right. And don't forget, we have the notion that INEC stamp. A ranar zaɓe mu ma mutane muke horarwa. Ba mai gida za ka gani ba, idan kin je jefa ƙuri'a ba ni za ki gani ba. Ad hoc staff muke ɗauka. It is left for you as you get this information, also pass it on. You are here to represent a cluster. Kazo, Kasamu Bayani. Now use what you have gotten to also inform other people. This is it. By the time you get to the polling unit and it's choked up, do yourself that good. Please walk to the presiding officer and let him see that you are a person with disability and you'll be accorded the priority.
Aisha, well done. Thank you. And we have come to the end of the first segment. We are gradually moving to the last segment of this session. But before that, Aisha ta ce wanda ya ji ya gaya wanda bai ji ba. Sakonnin da suka bada da yawa. Ku haɗa sakon da Aisha ta gaya mana that idan INEC ce failing in the compliance of electoral or framework provisions. Ta ce ta faɗa muku inda za ku kai shi ko ni ba sai na ƙara faɗa ba. Ba ku gaya wanda bai ji ba, wanda shi ba ku kai sako. Thank you, our discussants, and thank you, the organizers of this event. We are having a productive and fruitful deliberations in the last almost an hour. Then this is the time in the next 20 minutes, according to the agenda, if you have it in your front, for questions and answers. So please, we cannot take all of your questions, but we are trying to take as few as we can, and our discussants will respond promptly to all of your questions. Thank you so much. Okay, the hall is divided into two sections. And we start taking questions from the first section of the hall. That is my right hand. So we are expecting questions from you. But please, I want to advise you that if somebody asks a question that you want us in your mind, don't repeat it, please. All of us here are representing ourselves, are representing people who are not here. So hearing our voice is not the basis, but the message and solution are what we are looking at. So if somebody asks the question you want to ask, please appreciate the person instead for you to ask the question again. Please, this first section by my right hand side. Questions?
Okay, my name is Luca Megadi, the local of Kaduna State. For me to ask this question in general language so that others will understand. Tambaya na ita ce especially kamar shi shugaban hukuma na INEC wanda ya wakiltar shi shugaban anan. Idan za a yi zaɓe, yawanci zaɓuɓɓukan sun gan masu training ko kuma masu aikar da zaɓen ba masu bukata. An kuma cikinmu akwai masu boko wanda sun iya kwamfutar ko kuma iya amma ba na gari me yasa.
That is.
Madam, can we take all the questions?
Yes. Take the question.
My name is Baru Usman Adamu. I really appreciate the effort of the Electoral Commission for giving assurance that they are going to employ persons with disability in their work staff. So unfortunately, I personally applied for that artwork workers, but the time that I'm applying this, but I wasn't see any specification for persons with disability in the portal.
Okay. Next question.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nasir Mohammed Adamu, Chairman Siyan Kaduna State Chapter. My question is, ina so mai da hankali ne zuwa ga ita hukumar zaɓe a kan irin ayyukan da take gudanarwa musamman a kan uwa masu buƙata na musamman. Shin wanda irin tanadi aka yi a kan maganar accessibility wajen inda za a kaɗa ƙuri'a? Don mafi yawa za ka samu in za a jefa ƙuri'a za a ji akwati a can tsakiyar rami kuma za ga gurgu zai zo zai jefa ƙuri'a zai samu matsala wajen zuwa. Ƙarshen da dalilin wannan zai iya rasa jefa ƙuri'ar nashi. Na gode.
Maybe two more questions. Let's have two more questions.
Sunana Abdullahi Akiri Tukulu. Ina so in tambaya muku jawo hankali da nake wani daga ciki ke magana na kasassu su daga shiga takarar zaɓe ko ko su yi a buga da su. Wani abu mai kyau. Yawanci da kasassu abin da kawai suke bukata in an yi taro na siyasa ba ya su buga ko ko su yi gwagwarmaya a siyasa ba. Abin da kawai suke so idan an ci zaɓe su samu abu. A yau idan daga cikin to takara, misali, akwai wani gurgu da to takara a yanzu magana ke yi ya kada masu kafa shi ne gwamnan Mina. Dan takara gurgu ne da kafar shi. Ya kada masu kafa guda biyar. David yana ya rike jam'iyyar PDP a Mina kusan shekara biyar ke taimaka ma jam'iyyar PDP. To kaga wannan mun samu ci gaba kenan. Ba wai irin wanda ka zauna bane. Ba za ka kuma wani ka ce kana so a baka siyasa ba ta da wannan ka fito fili ka fito kai gabar baya kai ma kai fada ka kwace wa daga su hakkin su yawanci a daga cewa sai za ku zaɓi gurgu suka ce za mu zaɓi mu za mu turo shi a gidan gura ku to ka ga wannan abu ne da kyau to ina shawo hankalin ɗan uwanmu idan kai mu kawo da fito takara ka tsaya kar a kakala kai ka mutu zuwa baya in kai gurgu ne fito takara ka tsaya kar ka fito ka ce ka lura kuma ka kashe kuɗin da ake kashe ka ce kai ba ka da kuɗi da sai an baka gida salamu alaikum.
Last question from section 1. Right, my last name.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ali Ramchun Eriba, Chairman Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities Teachers Chapter. I'm going to speak the Hausa language so that my people will understand what I'm going to say. My question here is that, okay, sorry, tambayar da yake so yi ana ita ce, me yasa INEC ta yi rumani ta samar da form wanda idan ka zo kai da kasa ka yi zaɓe za a cika maka form ɗin nan domin INEC ta tantance ainihi masu bukata ta musamman da suka yi zaɓe a wannan zaɓe ɗin domin ɗaukan mataki na zaɓe na gaba. Amma lokacin da za a fara zaɓe sai ya kasance wannan form ɗin nan an riga an da wato shi. In ka yi zaɓe za a sa layin da mutane wanda masu bukata ta musamman sun tafi kawai tsari ba a cika maka wannan form ɗin. Saboda ni na yi aikin zaɓe last election kuma na yi ta fighting game da wannan amma abun ya yi duka cikin iya mutum 20 da suka yi zaɓe masu bukata ya da wuce mutum 2 da aka cika hukuncin ba. Assalamu alaikum. Sannan ɗan yi amfani da akwai ɗan ƙarin bani da su yi wanda ba tambaya ba ce. A shawara, kamar yadda zan ba da misali da gwamnan jihar Kebbi ya ce dukkan ƙananan hukumomin da ke Kebbi State dole ne sai an yi da mace ɗaya kansila. Muna buƙatar INEC ita ma in akwai hanyar da za ta ba da irin wannan dama ga jam'iyyu cewa kowace jam'iyya akalla kowace lokacin gama cikin wata da ke gare ta a hitar da mutum mai bukata ta musamman ɗaya to zai ba mu damar da za mu iya cin zaɓe saboda in aka sai da mu ba wanda zai tsaya wannan wurin sai mu. Assalamu alaikum, na gode.
Thank you so much, and I want to start. Luca asked a question which I think was addressed by other officials, particularly Madam Awal. Madam Awal said the portal to ad hoc staffing is on, and any persons with disabilities applied, Awal Mashi said they are going to engage him. So I think this question has been answered.
The only addition I'd like to make to that proviso is quite simple, but please don't tell the chairman of ADEC I've told you this. We are going to give priority to people with disability as an outcome.
Okay, then I think Bahari Usman asked a question concerning segregation of disability while applying for the ad hoc study. I think Mr. Abdurrahman, would you like to respond to this question? That your form is not segregated on disability basis.
Yes. So this is a very good observation, and I believe the Commission will take care of that in the next couple of. We will draw their attention so that they will take care of that now, so that if there is need for people with disability to participate as ad hoc staff, there should be a column for them to indicate the type of disability in the form.
Yes,
we will draw the attention. Yes.
Thank you so much.
I believe Commission will take some action on that.
Thank you. And after that, you ask a question or suggested that people with disabilities should be contested and engaged instead of waiting a kashe kurar a gama yaki a zo rabon ganima. I think Mr. Monday, I would like you to respond to the group on this.
Gaskiya maganar da shi malam Zukunu ya yi ba kariya ba ne. Gaskiya isa gaskiya yes mai kasa ya kamata shi mai tashi ya nema ko amma kuma muna duba cewa yes ya kamata ya tashi ya nema amma wannan musulmi ka bi kayan shi. I'm not discouraging you with disability. But in ka ga mun bi kayan shi mun gane cewa shi ma akwai akwai da yana cikin da shi wani ake ga yanzu muna kokarin da bin ku gode ma wadda ka da juna cewa yes duk da ne kasance yana so ya fito ya masa kara ya koma ya risa wa kuma ba that's number one. Sannan kuma political parties su ma su bada consideration. Zai yiwu akwai wanda yana so ya nema. In 20 during the council election last I will not say council election, akwai masu da kasa da su suna nema. Shi mataimakin gwamna ko gwamna da ke shashe duk wanda yana so ya nema takara a jami'ar APC, form fee is free of charge. Mata pass automatically. Akwai wanda muka bi ni personally na bi wanda na bi su da mun mobilizing. At the end of the day, na abu da ba. So kamar da akwai the National Disability Act says that what there should be 5% application a wuraren arziko. Let political parties have to do an initiative. Actually, in every elected position, so much to just a lead, 5% now person to disability. So that about to go by. There can be a different encouragement. One is the father, so the mother pass father. So when I political parties to block an initiative in them. If the matter is demanding for 35% affirmative action, Muma must not kasa, Koma Kundian in the kasa, must not kasa. We become a demand for 5% affirmative action in every elective position. Magana the ship Kunia Yabashika. And Mama Apuga political parties, 5% of every elective position, of every appointment, the Benazam father. Thank you.
And Nasra Adamu was talking of accessibility voting system or polling units, placement of accessibility of polling units. Aisha, what would you say about this?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. And I think we mentioned something similar to this lokacin da muke magana. Cewa wuraren da INEC take amfani da su wurare ne na gwamnati. They are not built by INEC. So these ramps have not been in existence for long. But with regards to position now, ballot box, you have every right. Remember, voting starts, or accreditation and voting starts at 8 p.m. And 8 a.m. sorry. And the ad hoc staff are supposed to be there before 8 a.m. to even give you voter education, so sort of voter education as far as that is. And shi yasa ake da rafikan don su sauƙin zuwa. Now, lokacin da suke wannan abu, they are showing you duk abubuwan da suka zo da su. And it is da yadda ko ake ajiye akwatin zaɓe, ana ajiye shi ne inda kowa zai iya gani. And if you feel you're a person with disability, and that place where the ballot box is placed is not suitable for you, you can call the attention of one ad hoc staff reporting in the city one room. Then you have people on wheelchair and you cannot access ballot paper at one room, and they will be glad to bring it down. They are doing it happening somebody to show the transparency of the process. Now, in that ajiye in the kowa ke gani ba, za a iya ganin cewa a wasu zo sun ruye a wasu kada wata ballot paper ciki. And stuff like that, and that is why it is always a collective responsibility.
Okay, so let's work together to actualize our dreams. And the last question was from Aliwa Antony, who was speaking of form that you are providing forms to fill in, but next time the form may be of no use. Mr. Howard, what do you have to say?
You see, I want you to understand something. There are lots of things that the commission is doing silently. As a matter of fact, it's not even everybody within the commission that is privy to those activities. Saboda misali yanzu wayannan forms da ake cikawa, wanda people with disability and other categories of people za su cika. Muna amfani da su ne wurin analysis ɗinmu, wurin what is the word? Na? Wurin data aggregation domin a tabbatar da cewa an samu improvement wurin output na INEC. So I don't think it's proper for one to make a conclusion cewa an ɗauki data ko bai ga wani abu visible da zai indicate cewa wannan abu da aka ɗauka an yi amfani da shi ko ba a yi amfani da shi ba. Wallahi ina da tabbatar duk abin da kuka INEC take muna yi da lissafi. Kuma duk wani bayani da za a ji ma akwai da za a yi shi lokacin ɗinsa domin a samu improvement in the output of the commission, especially during elections.
Still, regarding this question or comment by Aliyu suggested that in Kebbi State, governor directed at least a female as a councillor in the local government areas of the state, and he suggested similar should be done by INEC. I think I wanted to ask right here, as civil society person, is it possible for INEC by law to introduce such recommendation or enforce such law?
Thank you. For INEC, I think they have their jurisdiction, area of operation. I think this is more or less legislative matter first of all, which has to go to the House, and then maybe if in the event that the electoral law has to be reviewed again or upgraded or whatever, then maybe INEC, because they have taken this views and suggestions, they have a place of presenting such matters to those who have to look into those laws and issues. So this is my stand. Cewa INEC tana da limit, tana da matsayi ko inda yake ba za ta iya wucewa ko mata iya yawa da ba za ta iya wucewa ba cikin mun san komi dokar akwai gaba da gaba da akwai kowa da yadda aka tsara aikinta. Amma ba abin da yake ba za su iya sa baki ko su kawo hankali hukuma ko gwamnati ko masu mace da su ba, amma zai fara ne daga wuri shi da ake batun advocacy. Kuma mata da matasa sun advocacy na neman wannan percentage din, kuma sai ku ga wannan yanzu ya zama an advocacy issue cewa domin a fara turawa kafin next election na nan da shekaru.
So much. Before going to the last segment, like you have suggested, and I would like to equally suggest that advocacy is a collective responsibility. So let's start working towards actualization of this recommendation by you. And 5 seconds before going to the last segment of
the shawara because already under the provision and national law, when they are found on the every establishment of government, both private and public, it's a responsibility on them to give 5% allocation of employment to persons with disabilities. So the Fuka Liberation INEC may not have this in the act establishing INEC, but the national act that was accepted by Mr. President in 2019 have given this provision, and it has argued for the implementation process. So I want INEC to explore this and see how persons with disabilities can be brought into the system. In time during employment, when you have the room to make employment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we are quickly moving to the second section of this one, which is my left-hand side. We are expecting 5 questions from this section, please.
We have more than 5 people. Okay, so we'll just stick to the 5.
Yes, please. Yes,
jama'a assalamu alaikum. Sunana Kwamar Muntar Salih daga Kaduna State. Ni tambayar da nake da shi a ciki. A duka jami'un nan kowanne za ka ga a rubuce ana magana disabled leader, disabled a ciki. Amma ni abin da nake mamaki jam'iyyun nan har yanzu ko ba su fahimta ba ne ko kuma shi ne muke so wanda za mu sa wannan. Dalilin mu a nan akwai jam'iyyar da mun nemi a ba mu kwamfin nan na takarar rai wanda muka je har ruwa ya doke mu kuma har dare muka kai amma daga ƙarshe su aka ce sai mu ba da kuɗi, aka dinga tura don masu sikirinin ɗin kansu sun so a ce disabled leader da ce an ba disabled a wannan takara ɗin. To daga ƙarshe dai ba a ba mu ba, muka zauna da shugabannin jam'iyya ba magana, muka zauna da masu ruwa da tsaki ba magana, amma abin da ya ba mu mamaki ba a ba mu takarar ba. Shi mai kafa da yatsu da idanun da aka ba, to ina tabbatar muku har yanzu babu ba zai iya kai mantan shi ba da shi mai na kasa aka ba a wannan lokacin din. Na tabbatar da ya tura jam'iyyar fiye da yadda ba.
Thank you.
Na gode, gida salama.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mrs. Salome Andrew from Heart to Heart Inclusive Education Foundation. I want to start with the accessibility issue. When somebody raised about gutter, but I want to talk about the cubicles, the INEC cubicles, because the height of the cubicles too matters. When I went to vote during 2019 elections, I know that you said that structures don't belong to INEC, but there is this thing that Hausa people say, and putting Kazakh and very national workers. You can also collaborate, I believe, with the people to add some value to the facilities, just for the sake of persons with disability. But I would like you specifically to take note of the height of the cubicle. For somebody that is on a wheelchair, you cannot easily reach there to some bridge. So that one is specific to the INEC. Then security agents, please, because I had this terrible experience too when I got to the polling unit. I tried to speak to this Kadbi's person in Kaduna here and the policeman. They don't seem to know that when a person with disability comes, they should give priority to the person, if possible, create a way for the person to pass. Rather, when I tried to speak with him, he said, I'm like, but the right here, whichever the answer can do. So I think they should be educated too, the police and security men around there. And concerning properly, I appreciate argument that they have a text for that. So I don't know if it's possible for you to also include in your training of the presiding officers what you call them, so that you talk to them concerning persons with disability. Maybe when there's a person with disability around, the presiding officers should be able to give priority to that person specifically themselves. Because if when I got to them, they did not attend to me too. I have to join you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, this next question is from person with disability, hearing impairment.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sophie Abubakar, the secretary from Kaduna State Action today. I observed that the panel discussion most of the issues discussed there lies around elections and electoral. But I'm trying to ask, okay, what about post-election? After election, what will happen? Because we are looking about communication, access to communication, maybe during the collation of results and all of that. Okay, we understand that all this discussion goes around election, accessibility, and all of that. So what about after election, during the collation? Because we usually see during the national election, there are standard interpreters interpreting the way people would hear it in. While in the state election, they are not. I also it would be of good if INEC will have a disabled desk officer. sometimes such gesture, when an organization like that come up with having a disabled desk officer, they will end up giving someone that's not passing with disability. So please, I want INEC to look into this issue and treat it amicably. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, my name is Ibrahim Mohammed from Kaduna State. Tambaya na zai je ga su jami'an ainihi. Akwai wasu mutane a cikin jam'iyyun siyasa wanda suke bin mutane suna karɓar voters card ɗinsu suna cire wani number. Akwai wasu serial number guda 8 a cikin kowane voters card. So, muna so ne su mana ƙarin bayani. Shin wannan karɓan wannan serial number da ake yi a cikin voters card yana iya zama barazana ga mutum idan ya je zai jefa ƙuri'a? Wannan shi abin da ya fi
Final question. No, sir, we will just take 2 more, sir, with your permission. Just 2 more questions. 2 more questions.
Good morning, sir. My name is Suleiman Abdulaziz, Chairman of the National Association of Persons with Disabilities. I just have one question. Tambayar da zan yi guda ɗaya. Ita hukumar zaɓe ta yi tsare-tsare wanda ya kamata a jinjina mata. Amma mafi yawancin tsarurrukansu is being hijacked ranar zaɓe ga agent na political party, sai ka ga ad hoc staff da aka sa sai ka ga sun kasance cikin tsare ba su da wani role da suke abin nan saboda political party agent din su suke hijacking dukkan wani tsare-tsare da aka yi. Menene an yi kai game da wannan abubuwan da suke faruwa na ranar zaɓe na gobe?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mole Adam. I am software developer. My question is to the INEC officials. During registration, it was actually very tedious because the center that was close to my place where I would go was that Panama Center. And every single day I go there, I go as early as 6 a.m. and I meet over 200 people already waiting for this registration. And again, the center only does 30. You get there to evening and they will do only 30 out of 400. And this was a very serious one. And also, INEC provided a place for appointments on their website, where people book appointments and then come on our appointment day. But that is not being observed by the staff in that center. Please, what are you doing to solve this problem so that we have more people register for this task and more people go to pension?
Okay, so you say you are making
Monday,
okay, that's fine. And thank you once again.
Over to you, sir.
That's fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. I would like to start with Comrade Afghanistan, who was asking a political party related issue, which I think none of the political parties official here to attend to this question, but I would like to recommend to an ABLE Foundation to look into the possibility of organizing a similar event whereby political parties will be brought together, to respond or address such concerns from our people. Then Saloni asked of facility and security issues. Aisha was responding to structural accessibility. This is not a structural accessibility, it's rather a facility accessibility. I would like Mr. Awal Mashi to respond to the question regarding facility accessibility and security concern of disability. Thank you very much. I think, when you are alive, you learn every day. Honestly, I've been a professional election administrator for almost like 5 years, and I've never looked at the issue of this race, especially with respect to this difficult as an issue. I never realized that. But Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy that this issue is raised, and I promise you, we are going to push forward for the adjustment of such an anomaly in life. We are going to address this. Okay, you see, I've just been told by my colleague here that that issue has been addressed in the by-election. But what I'm sure is that that issue will still face it during the 2023 general election. Because as I'm talking to you now, we have over 8,000 of such voting cubicles. And as far as I know, they are the same things we've been using over and over and over again since 2011. So that issue, even if it's addressed in other times, we have not addressed it here. And then with respect to the issue of lack of consideration by security and video police, and in fact, even some of our other staff, I think that's rather unfortunate because definitely we conduct, training on, relationship between adult staff, and I consider the police equally as adult staff because they are conducting an adult responsibility relationship. Again, with respect to adult staff, the proper adult staff, the presiding officer career, we also address them, we also train them on how to treat properly people that have come to vote. And I want to believe that that issue is an isolated case because you hardly find such issues arising in other holy minutes. But then again, we are human beings, and then we have our ways of approaching to life and to issues. So definitely we can rule out the possibility that such an issue as a reason. But then again, that rule is not yet, and inshallah, during the training we are going to conduct for the police, and in fact, even the other staff, we are going to properly, address that issue and then help them on how to make sure that their such issue is not repeated constantly.
Before going to the next question, is there any possibility, like, could you give a number, contact number, whereby if during the 2023 elections such cases happen, then it will immediately report to you?
Yes, definitely there is going to be what we call hotlines. We use them constantly during elections, and the ones we have, I'm not sure we are going to use them during the 2023 general election. But I can guarantee you 100% that such hotlines will be made available and will make them public. In fact, inshallah, I personally ensure that the Albino Foundation, I send such hotlines to them for onward distribution to whoever is in need of them.
Thank you so much. And then we quickly move to Sufi, who was making comments, and after comments, finally asked two questions. The first question asked was talking about during elections, what will happen after the election. And he expressed concern that you are having disability-based officers as INEC. But his observation was most of such based officers are not disabled. Is there any way whereby INEC will be engaging disabled individuals as guest officers, Mr. Abdulrahman?
Thank you, sir. This is a very good observation. And the Commission, as I assured you, is always trying to solve problems of voters, irrespective of their ability or disability. Such guest officers were appointed maybe for months. But for now, any recruitment now will now take care of our voters here, and I believe we will forward your complaint so that in the next time when Commission is recruiting staff.
I think, let me just help you out here.
Yes, sir.
You see, what the Commission is doing is to ensure that there is United Nations affirmative action, that is with respect to gender issues. We are going beyond the 35% issue. So that, in fact, let's look at what is happening here. There are 7 of us
but those four are female. So as far as that is concerned, we can address that. Again, if you go to our various offices, unfortunately, in Kaduna we don't have. But if you go to the national headquarters, and I know there are a lot of states, online when are the people that are people with disabilities. So that issue is addressed. But it cannot be done 100% and it cannot be done everywhere. So I think that issue has been addressed. I want you to rest assured that when are the people with disabilities that are part and parcel of the commission that have been employed as permanent and pensionable staff, and we are going to continue doing that until Nigeria is over.
Okay, quickly also move to Ibrahim Muhammad, who was of concern that people collecting PVC and take some 8 digits from it. Aisha, what is the implication for a voter if what to be collected is 8 digits for his PVC?
Well, let me just quickly say that once your permanent voter card is issued to you by INEC card that I'm about to do business, has no reason to call that voter card. And that is why.
No, Aisha is not INEC. He was okay.
And that is why when you are given that voter card, you are told to keep it safe. Because INEC has no business and no person. When our senior colleague was making his presentation, he has told you about the safekeeping of your voter card. So nobody has any business to do with it. In fact, if they have a way of rendering it invalid, probably because we have seen, politics is about it's a game of numbers. And maybe if a political party envisage the number of another party outweigh it, bring about those devices. But as I tell you, when you get your permanent voter card, please keep it safe. Don't give it to anybody and don't borrow it to anybody. And just quickly, Mr. Moderator, let me just address the question of political party funding or purchase of forms. Let us declare that the forms
before political parties, is there any implication if someone collected or takes that it is from you?
Now, I think I should talk about that. You see, we have had complaints from a lot of people from different areas that some people are going to collect their permanent card, either to get some numbers or even to worse, in some cases, collecting their permanent card and a permanent voter card and giving them some money. The implication quite simply is that somebody somewhere could render you unenfranchisable. In other words, if you give your card or if any number is removed or scratched off or even probably copied, somebody might render that card useless on election day. So let's whoever comes to you under whatever pretext, it's a ask him what for. What line would you have on cover? If he insists, what are we going to
So if at all we want to participate in elections and political party were interested in say we'll say home, then we should be ready to buy those homes using our own funds.
Saboda su ne suke alkawarin ba da kwafi kyauta kuma a je karɓa su hana. Ina jin ba ta iya magana a madadin su ba. Yes, ba ta iya magana a madadin su ba. And I think second to the last question was asked by Monday, who was expressing concern about the truth during the voter registration exercise. I think National Disability Law, Section 4, gives consideration of persons with disabilities to the extent of excluding them from joining truth. Please, INEC, are you compliant with this law? And if yes, why people with disabilities experience such problems during the registration?
Now, you see, let me tell you something. Like I said earlier, Allah ya mutane daban-daban. Ni as an individual, as a human being, ba ma wani lokacin aiki na ba a cikin professional election administrator. Wallahi, ordinarily, in na da a person with disability, sai an da kasiti, wallahi zan ta kama hannun sa na kashe shi. Wani kuma a ce lokacin da an zo wurin aiki na, ko kuma sai first stop me for giving that priority. I will always told our adults now, in fact, our families now, if the 1 year old, if you start assistance, especially people with disability, we should give priority to them. So that is an issue that, in my opinion, is, an isolated thing. Kuma cikin da ake dama ba a haɗuwa duk a ce an yi kyau, ko ba a haɗuwa a ce an lalace. But the truth, the reality is that those people did not move from the proper thing. Su yi kuskure ko ba su kyauta ba. Kuma I think the first point of call is kai da ake wa wannan abu. Try to raise those. Raise your voice. No, in da su sani da shi shege a gurin. Yadda mutane za su kanta, za a sani cewa wannan wanda yake kuka na abu ya zance ya amfani ka. Wallahi to serve as a next to him so that in the future ba zai gane wannan abu ba. But it's not in our blood, it's not in our character, it's not part of the policy of the commission. Mu ga cewa an kuke kama kowa ba bare kuma ce ki gudu disability.
Amma mana awon ba yana nufin a je a yi faɗa ba, amma abin da yake nufi shi ne duk wanda ya kuntata maka kai maza ka yi kotu da yi fa'ilin. And thank you so much. Thank you so very much. And we are gladly coming to the end of this session, whereby our discussants from INEF, from civil society and disability organizations, Mr. Okay, yes, Suleiman. Okay, please. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm sorry. I escaped a question asked by Suleiman. Suleiman Abdulaziz asked a question concerned over the hijack of the political party agents during elections. Aisha, can you respond to this? That political party agent hijacking your activities during elections.
Again, I want to believe that that is an issue wherever it exists, that is isolated. Our people, the other staff and the permanent staff of the commission, have been told and they know that under the foreign dispensation, under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, under the Electoral Act and all other acts extant related to our work, on election day, wherever you find yourself, you are Alpha and Omega. You are a small God if I relate one to the group. But definitely, if you allow yourself to be hijacked, then you are not doing the proper thing. And you are just shaking your responsibility. Wherever such a thing happens, you can be assured that wallahi will come to our attention, especially with the new dispensation. Because if that happens to a political party agent, they are hijacking the process of so definitely the material working. So do one more thing in materials, but now there is a change to not count. What we count at the end of the day is the voice of the people, the voice of the populace. Do one assistance here today in neighbor and some boy and buyer must give it properly. But I think it was that day. You can just assure that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Awal Mashi, Administrative Secretary, Independent National Commission, Kaduna State, Aisha Abdullahi, Representative, Resident Electoral Commissioner, Sokoto State, Abdulrahman Kubau, also Representative, Resident Electoral Commissioner, Delhi State, Dr. Rakia Shodikat, Executive Director, Women and Youth Empowerment Network Foundation, and Mr. Monty Okoli, Disability Inclusion Advisor, Site Savers. Thank you so very much for your time, fruitful and immense contributions to this topic. Thank you so much, and we wish you set back your destination. And Dino Foundation, with support from the European Union, thank you so much for organizing such a wonderful event. Our participants who are spending almost your day with us here, we are appreciating your effort and your time. And on behalf of the Andino Foundation, our discussants, including our participants, Salis Ibrahim wishes all of us best of luck and step back to our daily destination. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam. Before we go down, we would like to have a focus session with all our invited guests. So if you could just, I don't know how to maybe just stand. Yes, up on the podium. Yes, sir, please. You could join them. Welcome. Yes, we just have got some of us who have. Chairman, while that is going on, we would like to announce the lost but found key and the new cutter. If this is yours, you can see me after the event to pick it up. Also, we would like to acknowledge the presence of the National President of Persons with Physical Disabilities, Comrade Rewan Abdullahi. Also, all cluster heads from Kaduna State here present. The senior special assistant to the governor of disability affairs, Kaduna State, Yabu Zaka, and also, because it's been acknowledged already, the representative of the Resident Electoral Commission of Kebbi State, Madam Rahman Tikubo,